Guys, and we're doing part 1 of Professor Naruto remastered. I said it like 5 times because it has been so long since I've done another what if. Okay, I am a big liar. I just did an unordinary what if like a couple hours ago. Look, sorry, I just can't resist. It's too much fun doing this. I want to be more Naruto. I want to change up some more stuff. I'm kidding. It's not really. It's going to be completely changed. I'm going to be a Namikaze. Christian's going to be a Namikaze. Full MFN bloody powerful. He's a Namikaze. And my jutsu lineup is not going to be an immediate Rasengan. He's not immediately going to have Rasengan. His jutsu's arsenal is going to be Flying Raijin, Time Kick, Time Space Kick, Flash Kick, whatever. Flying Raijin, Flash Kick. So he's going to be 4 years old when he enters the academy. The academy would want it, but he'd also have 5 scrolls that he only is supposed to open at certain ages. The first scroll, which is for the Rasengan, he can only have once he reaches Genin level. The Flying Raijin Jutsu, he learns at once he's a Chunin. Once he is strong enough to learn it. And the rest of the jutsu he cannot, and those are the only 2. And the rest of the scrolls are about tons of jutsu and elements. And there's one more thing. He has the 9 tails. He says, "Go 9 tails." He has the 9 tails. He ain't no Sage of the 6th Path reincarnate. Nah, I ain't doing that anymore. That's just kind of dumb. So Christian would be an absolute prodigy, like even more a prodigy than the Uchiha. With his Flying Raijin and skill technique and so much chakra, he's basically a mini Hashirama. His elements are lightning and wind. Chris would say, "Yeah, let's go. I am ready to enter." He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna enter the academy, and I'm gonna be the best." And then he'd also know he knows Minato Namikaze, who was part of his clan. He'd say, "Oh right, he's been trained so hard that he is on the level of Shippuden Sharingan Curse Mark II Sasuke." Okay, I'm kidding. He's not that strong. I won't give him a power level, but he's very strong. So on the first day of the academy, he is already top notch. All those scrolls had tons of stuff to teach him stuff. He was given everything to help him. So, when the academy came, he was so smart. He was first place. He was the best in the academy, better than Minato Namikaze. And he wouldn't pass early though. He would want, because whenever they ask him, he says, "No, I want to stay. I like my class. I actually have friends." They say, "Who are your friends?" He says, "Naruto Uzumaki, rivalry with Sasuke. Kiba Inuzuka, Shino Aburame, Shikamaru, Nara, Joji Akimichi." And he says, "Any other?" And they say, "Any other friends?" He says, "Yeah, about 3 more." "Well, they're not really my friends, they're pseudo-friends." They say, "Who are they?" "I don't trust them that much. I don't actually remember their names." They're like, "Oh, ugh." He says, "Whatever." So he would basically so every day Sasuke would challenge him for the #1 spot, and they'd also pick on Naruto, and everyone would kind of pick on Naruto, except for Christian's friends. Whenever they'd also start a gang, like a team, whenever Naruto or something, because Naruto was part of his friend group. Kiba was actually friends with Naruto. He doesn't want to be a jerk to him. He wouldn't be such a jerk. Neither would Shino and all them crap. So they want to defend Naruto and tell people to stop bullying him because he doesn't deserve it. Every single time they'd challenge, they'd immediately to the floor. And Christian always says, "Does your body feel heavy? Does it fall to the floor? If it doesn't, then you're strong." It's that Richard Goodman thing where he says, not Richard, Benjamin Goodner says, does your diaper hang low? Does it fall to the floor? If it's not full of cash, then if it's not, then you're poor. I'm just doing that, a remix. So Christian would say, alright, let's go. He would just Flying Rajin kick them. Flying Rajin time kick. That's his secret weapon. Moving on to the sparring. Christian would say, alright. Yeah. Christian would wield 5 Flying Raging kunais. He has them. Christian says, alright, here we go. I'm ready for my first match. Your first matchup is Sasuke Uchiha versus Christian Namikaze. They're like, ooh, the best match in the century. Everyone's like, Sasuke, and the other side is like, Christian, and that's most of his friends. They're like, go, we don't like that stupid Sasuke guy, he's annoying, he's a show-off. And the friends of him and the girls that simp on Sasuke say, they have a war, they're like, yeah. Christian's like, and Sasuke's like, huh? What? They're like, whatever. They smile and they go at it. With a quick clash with their arms, pushing each other back. Christian would say, alright, let's see what you can do. And then he'd blitz right under Sasuke, saying, ah, boom! Punching Sasuke, sending him back. Then sliding. Then blitzing towards Christian. Block. But then Christian blocks the strike, saying, you're good, Sasuke. Flying Raji, time kick. Time space kick. Sasuke can't even see it, and Christian's already back in his place. With a yellow light, Sasuke is knocked out. He is knocked flying back. Christian would say, yeah, yeah, boom. He'd say, Dapabayo. I'm kidding, he'd never say that. He'd say, let's go. He'd say, lightning. And out of nowhere, he'd disappear. Sasuke, what? And the light in Christian's hands are on lightning, and then you'd ram it into Sasuke, saying, lightning palm. Then he'd say, no, Christian would have 9 tails, remember. Then he'd say, Then he'd go, he has the yin form, you know, like the non-evil one. Christian says, here we go. Daptabane. Okay, I watch some Naruto TikToks, and I keep on hearing the Daptabayo, the Daptabane, Daptabayo, and Daptabasan. That's not, of course, Kushina says Daptabasan. Daptabane is actually what she says. Naruto says Daptabayo, and Naruto says I got those two mixed up, Daptabasan. I don't know how to say it, it's hard. So, basically, Christian would say, you're good, Sasuke. How about this? And then he'd disappear with a blue light. And out of nowhere, like so many things, keep on hitting Sasuke. And then they see Christian walking from Sasuke. They think he's done. And then an elbow to Sasuke's stomach, saying, that's my Godspeed bolt. They're like, They're like, and Christian says, yeah. Now, no girls in the class like Christian because they're mad at him for beating up Sasuke. Well, Hinata really doesn't care because it's Hinata. She doesn't really like Sasuke. They'd all say, boo, you're the worst, Christian would say. He'd say, shut up, I don't care. You're all annoying anyways, you simps. And all their pupils disappear with anger. They're like, what? And he's like, what, you want to go? I'll take you all on, idiots. And he says, and I'll rush at him for a punch. He says, nice try. Jumps up in the air and says, lightning! And then he says, stop. Iruka says, stop it. You're not going to attack any of your classmates. He says, alright. Futon Nekusa! Which is just one-style Gale Palm. A whirlwind sends them flying back, and he says, done. He says, alright guys, I'm done. Sasuke and him would make the unison sign, forming a friendly rivalry. So then, one day, so about 5 to 10 years later, Aruka on the last day of the academy, Christian would say, "Yo, Sasuke." Now Sasuke, the Uchiha clan wouldn't be massacred yet when the fight happened, so Sasuke would not talk to Christian anymore. He'd be like, He would say, come on, you're annoying me. And every single time he tried to talk to Sasuke, the girls would just rush in and push him out of the way and say, "Shut up, you're not talking to him," he says. Christian would say, whatever. On the last day of the academy, Christian would ace the exams, and everything would go normal. Christian is sitting next to Sasuke, not talking to him actually, talking to Naruto, and Sakura would say, "Move it, Naruto!" Christian would say, "Don't move." He's like, "But," she says, "Move!" Then Naruto would look at Sasuke and stare at him and say, "What?" And then some kid behind him would elbow, and they would kiss. Yeah, they do a weird scene. Christian would say, like, Christian would die laughing. And everyone would stare at Christian and Naruto, being like, about to punch, and Christian says, "Well, I'm out," and jumps on the roof, just on the ceiling, hanging there with his chakra, saying, "I don't really give a crap." Then he goes and puts his head down because he doesn't really care, being punched in the process, saying, "This damn academy couldn't get any goddamn worse." And then he just lays down. Then he'd hear the teams. Christian would already have mastery over his QBI form. When Sakura would go simping for Sasuke and would not shut up, Christian goes, gee. Wait, hold on, let me get that. This ain't copyright, boys. Let me get it up. Frick, I just want to find the one. Here we go. And Sakura would not shut up. He would say this. Alright, I'm sorry, that was funny. I always wanted to do that. So he would tell Sakura, "Jeez, you're too noisy. Shut up." Activating the QBI, she'd be like, going into her little angry state, saying, "Yeah, I wish I could punch him in the face, but he's too powerful." And he goes, and Naruto would name the teams. He'd say, "Team 7. Now this is a first for a long time." They say, "What?" He says, "Naruto Uzumaki." He says, "Yes, I'm up." "Sakura Haruno." He goes, "Yay!" And she goes, "Aww." "Sasuke Uchiha." He says, "Yes." No, Sasuke goes, "Whatever." And Sakura goes, "Yay!" And he says, "Christian Namikaze." He's like, "Wait a minute, I thought you said 3-man team." He said, "Yeah, well, there wasn't enough slots on any other team, so you're on team 7. He's like, "I'm down." Naruto goes, "Yes! Yes!" Even Sasuke doesn't smile. Christian would say, "Okay, Sensei, I'm happy with 2 of my teammates. I'm not happy with 1. He says, "Who?" He says, "Why do I gotta be with the emo boy simp?" She turns around and says, "What?" He says, "You heard me. You're an emo simp. All you do is simp over Sasuke and you're gonna get in the way of our missions. God freaking damn it!" And he says, "Finally, I finally got to say that. I've been wanting to say that for about 10 goddamn years." And with a angrily face, she punches him in the head and says, "Shut up!" And he goes, "You will never learn, will ya?" And with that outburst, everyone will go and start laughing at Sakura, and he'd say, in her head, she'd say, "Christian, you're dead." He's like, I don't care, I'm out. And he'd flying Raijin out of there. Everyone's like, "Where'd he go?" Christian put a flying Raiji mark in his house. He'd teleport home. Some people in the Namikaze clan would say, "Hey, did you pass?" He said, "Yep, I passed." They'd be like, "Yeah." And the next day with the academy, I'll be right back. What? I heard him. I'm coming. Alright guys, I am back, so let's get started. Naruto, when he'd come to there, he'd say, alright, here we go. His outfit is a nice red. Actually, it's identical to Minato's chat. They say, wow, you're looking identical to the fourth Hokage. To Minato, he says, thanks. And he dips. He'd meet his leader. All three of them would meet their leader. Christian would say, wait a minute, I recognize you. And he says, and then he says, I'm Kakashi Hatake. Nice to meet you. He says, Christian grunts and says, dang it, I wanted to say that. I knew you were. He says, whatever. Alright guys, he says, whoa, this is rare. A three-man, one-girl team. Okay, fine. A four-man team. That's pretty cool. They go, yes we are. Alright, you. Guy with the bushy, spiky blonde hair. Christian says, me? He says, yeah, you. He says, alright, my name is Christian Namikaze. My dream is to master all the jutsus that my Uncle Minato gave me. Because, like, he's not part of Minato's family. He says, oh, Minato, you're part of that clan? He says, yeah. He says, what jutsu did he leave you? He said, he pulls out like 20 scrolls. He's like, geez, that is a lot of scrolls, he says, and seals them all back up. But then Sakura grabs one, says, and tries to put it in her pocket, and says, drop it. And she's like, yeah. He says, you thief. He's like, whatever. I don't even care. He says, my dream is to be the strongest and greatest Hokage, just like Minato. He's like, you really admire Minato? He says, yeah, I do. He goes, yes. Naruto, he'd say, you, Naruto. He'd say, you. You, tell me, you, Blondie, tell me your dream. He'd say, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like ramen. I don't like how long it takes for it to cool down. And he says, my dream is to become the greatest Hokage. And then everyone in the village would start respecting me. And he'd say, and everyone would say, and Christian says, I know you can do it, Naruto. And he said, thanks. Christian would say, alright. And he said, you, Pinky, what's your dream? He says, my dream is, and then look at Sasuke. She says, well, I like Sar. She looks at Sasuke and she says, my dislikes are Christian and Naruto. Naruto says, Christian says, no, don't get down. She's a simp. She goes, what? And he says, you heard me. I ain't scared of you like Naruto is. And she goes, He says, oh, I guess we have a competitor. I never actually thought that would be there for a while. He says, well, I mean, if this is a rivalry, it would be a one-sided. He says, my name is Sasuke Uchiha. My likings are sparring with one single person. Sakura smiles and says, that's definitely me. I never spar with him, but it's definitely me. She says out loud, ha! In your face! Christian says, you idiot! It's obviously me. I'm the one who spars with them every goddamn day. And Naruto, whenever he does that, that's unsuccessful. No offense, Naruto. He says, it's fine. I don't really care. I'm not really interested in fighting Sasuke. He says, good. Christian would say, alright, whatever. So, whatever. And he says, I want to kill a certain someone. Christian would say, oh, who might this be? He says, I'm not telling. And he's like, okay, whatever. Whatever, Sasuke. Don't gotta be like that. He'd say, whatever. So, tomorrow you guys will meet for the bell test. Christian would say, alright. He says, yo, Sasuke, you want to do our daily spars? He says, fine. He says, Sasuke says, oh, I'd like to see this. They both start off. Sasuke would say, shotgun gun. Christian would say, Kakashi says, this is bad. He's about to go knock him out. Christian says, "Sorry, this is Control, dummy." Activates QBI to form and says, "Alright, let's go." These two would clash, blocking each other's knees. Christian would say, "Flying Raijin! Flying Raijin!" Throwing a kunai next to Sasuke and appearing right behind him saying, "Wind style, kill palm!" Blasting him. Blasting Sasuke back. Then Sakura would say, "Go, Sasuke!" Christian would say, "Go, Christian, beat him!" She'd say, "Shut up, Naruto!" Punching him in the back of the head. And Christian would say, "Naruto! Naruto!" And then when he's about to get kicked in the face, he says, "Nope." He says, "How low can I go?" And then just dodges. He's like, Sasuke says, "You're not actually trying. You're having fun with this fight." He says, "Damn right I am. I tried to make the most of every fight, which means making it fun." Christian would say, "Shadow Clone Jutsu!" Creating 5 shadow clones that all rush at Sasuke. Sasuke would body every one of them. Christian would say, "Alright." Then he'd run up to Sasuke, marking him. About to mark him, but then he decides, how about I do one that disappears after 5 days? Marks him. Then he says, "How about this?" And appears right below and says, "Flying Raijin! Kick! Flying Raijin time space kick!" Kicks him. I really need to have him. He'd say, "Flying Raijin! Gale Palm!" Blasting him in the air, saying, "Come on, Sasuke! You weren't as weak as this in the academy." And Sasuke says, "You weren't as strong as this in the academy." He'd say, "True, true." No. Sasuke's like, "Alright, I think that's enough." He says, "Yeah, I think so too." Sakura said, "Yay, Sasuke!" And then Christian would say, "Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Will you please shut up? You are the most annoying person I have ever goddamn met." And Sakura just stays quiet. "No, I'm leaving." Naruto says, "Wait up," and Christian says, "Nope, I am out." And teleports, saying, going to sleep. When he wakes up and he is arriving the first. Christian saying, guess I can do my daily training. He says, "Well, Kakashi ain't arriving for another hour or so. Guess I'll eat." He pulls out a cup of ramen. Pulls out 4 cups of ramen. He says, "I know they're gonna be arriving soon." When Naruto and when Sasuke arrives first, Christian says, "Yo, Sasuke, guy I needed." And he says, "Oh, you." When Sakura arrives and then Naruto arrives, Christian say, "Alright guys, let's eat because I know Kakashi ain't gonna arrive for another 2 hours." They say, 2 hours? He says, "Yeah, come on, let's train a little bit and have some food." He says, "You guys didn't eat, did you?" They say, "Nope." He says, "Well, have this." He'd prepare a full meal. Bread and butter, ramen. He'd slap that bread and butter and say, "Here you go, everyone." And he says, "Oh, Sasuke, need you for 1 second." He says, "Yeah? You mind lighting that fire up? My elements are only lightning and wind." And Naruto really got no idea what his or Sakura's element is. He'd say, "Alright." He'd light it on fire, giving him a fire, and they'd cook up the ramen, eat it, and then 2 hours later, actually 3 hours later, Kakashi would arrive, and they'd be Kakashi would say, "Oh, you found a way to not bore yourself." And he says, "Yeah, we're actually having pretty much fun." They don't tell him that they ate. He says, "Alright, let's get started." He'd say, "Guys, now!" He gives 3 kunais to them. Except for Sasuke. He says, "Hey, why don't I get a kunai?" Christian makes up a lie and says, "I don't have enough." He goes, He'd say, "Alright, whatever, let's go." They'd all spread out. Christian would teleport to Sasuke and say, "Yo." He says, What the?" And he says, "Yeah, the reason why I actually didn't give you kunai is because I already marked you. It'll go away in 5 days, though." He says, "Nope, 4 days actually, I marked it yesterday." So he says, "Here's my strategy. Okay, what? Did Akamaru just, like, shake this dude like a mosasaurus? Whatever. We're not going over that. So when, after that, the fight would start, Christian would throw 3 flying Raijin kunai next to Kakashi, appear right behind him and say, "Ah!" and kicking him. Kakashi would block, then he'd spin and kick Kakashi's arm. Then he'd punch Kakashi, but it wouldn't work. Kakashi would just block. Christian would say, "Alright, that's why I have 4. That's why I have 2 arms and 2 legs." Ah! And punch Kakashi in the stomach, pushing him back, saying, "Ha ha! That's my strategy, dummy!" Then he'd jump up in the air and say, "Wind style, Gale Palm!" Shooting a giant Gale Palm, hitting Kakashi, sending him back a little bit. Kakashi would appear, but that would be a substitute, and he'd bust into the 1,000 Years of Death. Christian would say, "Nice try, buddy," and appear right behind Kakashi, kicking him, sending him flying back, and saying, "Yeah! Lightning Palm!" Then he'd trick Kakashi, say, "Psych! Lightning Stream!" Then lightning streaming the ground. Electrocuting Kakashi's like, "You are really a jokester, aren't you?" He says, "No, not a jokester. More like a..." No, I'm not even gonna say it. He'd appear right next to him and say, "So you wanna be a jokester, huh? Well, guess what? Jokesters can't be shinobi." Christian would say, "I told you already, I'm not a jokester," and slam his fist into Kakashi's face, saying, then he'd say, "Shadow Clone Jutsu!" He'd create 10 codes and they'd all rush Kakashi, saying, "This is my Shadow Clone Raijin Barrage!" They'd all throw flying Raijin things, all appearing right next to Kakashi, punching him in the gut. He says, "Geez, this kid is good." And he'd say, "Sasuke now!" Sasuke would appear right behind him and say, "Fire style, fireball!" With a point blank fireball. He'd say, "Naruto now!" The ground would explode from below. Naruto punching him. Then another Naruto would appear and say, he'd say, "Catapult!" and throw Sakura up in the air with her punching Kakashi too. Christian would say, "Now! Sasuke! Naruto!" These two would run and grab both bells and they'd say, "Ha ha! We did it!" They'd say, "Wow, now that is some teamwork." He'd say, "Alright guys, you all pass." They're like, "What?" He'd say, "Yeah, the goal was teamwork. You gotta do some teamwork." Guys, and through that, they'd all become Genin. And that, guys, is it for part 1 of 4 to 5 Naruto Remastered. I actually like